Ralph Baber, psychology takeaway. You need a dose of the real. Life's absurd. We know the deal. Did you hear? Don't let it get you down. Turn that frown. Upside down, upside down, 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 upside.
Hi, Ralph,
Hi, Jim.
and welcome back to part 2.
Yeah, we're going to continue to talk to Ryan today. And, one of the things, Ryan, that I want to ask you is since we're focusing on the psychology of things here, do you find that, for you at least, going into nature is relaxing and makes you feel better?
Absolutely, yeah. I think even if I'm having a bad day, if I ended on a woods walk, especially with the dog, it turns it into like a good day. Ended on a positive note, It's just something about getting out in the fresh air and getting the sun on your skin and feeling the wind in your hair. Just it's elevating, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of like a callback to when humanity was nomadic, I suppose. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
suppose,
right
yeah.
in it's right in the roots of who you are as a person. Being outside just feels good.
Yeah. At our house, we have a fire pit, and I find that even in, the middle of town, going out, building a small outdoor fire and sitting
Yeah.
in front of it, and just sitting there until it burns down to coals is wonderfully relaxing and makes me feel happy.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just like I reckon it's down deep India where you're like, oh, fire, oh, where you just like, there's warmth, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna survive, and there I can cook my food on that, so I'm not gonna get
Yeah,
sick, and
Yeah.
and there's lights, so I can see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
You know,
parasympathetic nervous system can kick in. You can sort of combat the cortisol, and you just sort of mellow out.
Yeah. And, one of the things we know about urban living in North America is it tends to provoke high anxiety. People are worrying about all kinds of things, money and friends and frenemies and the co-workers and so on and so forth. And your mind gets full of that stuff.
Especially if you're surrounded by it and you're looking at it and your little brick.
Yeah.
Everything is this.
Yeah.
It's if you can just put that down and get out, and you just sort of forget about it. I find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
know-
of the things that I kind of make it a point to do, although I'm between phones right now, I've got my new phone, but I haven't got it enabled yet. But one of the things that I try and do is put my phone down if I'm going outside, even just in the yard, so that I'm not tempted to sit there
Yeah.
and scroll.
On my I have two phones, so when I moved here, I didn't have access to certain apps like the DNR app and stuff because they're region locked to the United States. So I thought a remedy to that would be buy a United States phone. But then I logged into it and it was on my Australian Google account, so it was still locked, and I was like, anyway. But on my new, that's the phone I carry every day, and that's the one that's like connected to the services here. I got Spectrum, I think. Anyway, I don't have Facebook logged in on that phone. I don't have Instagram logged in on that phone. I do have YouTube, but I use my old phone if I ever want to get on that and just rot my brain with a bit of scrolling. But I actively avoid that stuff for the device that's in my pocket. That's strictly pretty much just for communication.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure that with a new American phone, you've got a pretty good camera.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's on par with the one that I had, but I just thought if I could buy one in the region, it wouldn't be region locked. But as
Yeah.
it turns out, the region is on the account, not on the device.
so,
Okay, I want to interrupt in here because I have a phone also that I can really, it's really great because I can put I can actually talk to people.
yeah.
But have either of you really put your phone down long enough to go into nature for a prolonged period of time? And if so, what has it done for you? Ryan?
Yeah, I take my phone when I go into nature in case I hurt myself and I need to
Okay.
call for help. But whenever I'm out there, I don't touch it normally unless there's an emergency. And yeah, it's like a reset.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How long does it take to reset, do you think? How long did it take you to
Within the first 30 minutes of just being out there, I find.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can just enjoy it for the rest of the time you're out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ralph tells the story of taking some campers, high school students?
Yeah, they were high school student age. They were from the Metro Toronto area, and they were all used to electronics, that governed their life.
This is pre-phone days. This is back
Yeah.
Walkman and things like that.
And
good old days.
we said to them
remember
before we took off in this canoe trip, and these were all kids who are identified as at risk. So they
Okay.
were potentially dropouts. They were potentially anger management, et cetera, et cetera. And so the other counselor and I said, okay, here's the bag. All your electronics go in the bag. The bag goes in the van.
They freaked out.
They freaked out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could only imagine if they were addicted to their iPads,
Yeah.
if they had them.
No. Yeah.
Have you
it'd be-
seen what happens when you take those iPads away from those kids?
Oh, yes.
It's like they go. It's a withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
atrocious.
Yeah.
Like my kids, they're not getting an iPad.
Okay.
Like no way. I'll just put up with them screaming and crying. I think it'll be better than watching them like just depend on that device.
Well, I show
Yeah.
a video in my Psych 220 class, and I'll put it up with the Learn More. It's what happens when you try to take an iPad away from a 3-year-old. Okay, it's fun, but anyhow, so at the end of a few days, your people were kind of mellowed out, right?
Yeah, they got over the fear that a great snake was going to eat them, a great bear was going to eat them, or a mountain lion, which we didn't have in that area.
But
was
you had
going to eat
bears, and you
them.
had snakes.
And then they started to say, well, sitting around the campfire and telling stories. And the other counselor was a good guitarist and had brought his guitar. So, my university service has always been not singing in public. So I didn't sing with them, but they would sing along, and we'd do pop songs from that time period, and it was good. They kind of learned that A, it wasn't that hostile an environment, and B, you didn't need the electronic feed.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounded like they learned to embrace boredom and then
Yeah.
kill that boredom with other things.
Yeah.
I think boredom is really healthy because it forces you to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
And that, to me, that's one of the tremendous things about nature and getting away from your electronics is then you get bored and then you say, I'm going to go and do whatever.
I'm going to go get some firewood. I might try and catch a fish. I'm going to try and, hunt
Yeah.
a rabbit, or maybe I'll try and make a bow or something like that, which is what I do. Like,
Yeah.
whenever, one of the things on my bucket list is to make a bow totally from scratch and then go get a deer with it. I
Yeah.
think that would feel really, really, really good.
How about a kangaroo?
No, they don't taste as good as deer.
No, they don't.
No.
See, I have no idea what a kangaroo tastes like.
It's kind of like it's really gamey and dry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you're gonna cook it, you're better off doing it into like a stew or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I don't.
Okay. Now, a premise that we had is that some people are not going to readily be able to get into nature. And you said in our preview, Ralph, that, get a dozen houseplants and put them around, and that's the natural world in your house. I suggested one houseplant.
Well,
But-
that's a start.
Yeah, but the research does suggest that watching stuff on the video is good. It has the same sort of relaxation effect. Now, I don't know how much research has been done with this, but neuroscientists seem to think that this is a good thing. So, what would we watch if we wanted to get into scenic Australia? What would we be looking for?
Well, I never really watched anything about scenic Australia. I always used
No?
to watch stuff about the United States because that's where I wanted to live, right?
Huh, okay.
So,
See, when I think of Australia, I think of the Great Barrier Reef.
yeah. Oh, you watched the crocodile hunter videos?
No?
No, but that's what you could watch.
Oh,
So
okay.
even though, Steve Irwin is long dead, but there's still, like, he has a lot of content on Australian wildlife.
Okay.
So that'd
Crocodile
be-
hunters.
The crocodile hunter, Steve Irwin.
Okay.
Have you heard of him?
No.
Oh, well,
Okay.
everyone else has.
That's
So you
okay.
sound
There are
like Steve
lots of
Irwin.
things I have not
Yeah.
heard of. Okay, we'll put that up under Learn More. I'll find the link to that.
But for me, I've noticed a stark difference in my mood. So my cousin Oliver, he loves to watch a show called Flecker's Talks, which is a political commentary kind of show.
Okay,
and
I'd stay
they-
away from that.
Yeah, it whenever I'm sort of watching it, they do highlight a lot of, how should I say, the bad parts of society that's going on. I was like, look at it, all these awful things that's happening. And when I
Okay.
watch it, I get mad. I'm like, I don't want to feel like this. I don't I want to sort of forget about this kind of stuff that's going on in the world. But what I put on when I want to just have something on is I watch Outdoor Boys, which is his name's Luke. He's a YouTuber and he just wanders out into the Alaskan wilderness and just survives for a weekend, or
Okay.
builds a shelter, or goes fishing, or goes hunting, or something. And it's just relaxing to watch this guy that's a expert at what he does just be in the wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Are you familiar with this
Yeah.
one, Ralph? Well, maybe
And-
you could send me a link, and I'll put it up under Learn More as well.
Okay.
So watching somebody else mellow out, right?
Yeah. And one of the things that I watch, because I like construction and I also like survival, I watch a bunch of basically the Caucasus mountain folk going out and into the mountains, and they build log structures, and
Yeah.
they hollow out a semi-cave and build things with stone around
I've
it.
definitely lost myself down the rabbit hole of building log cabins. That's another thing I'd really, really like to do. I've watched so much content. I think I could do it, but I don't have the time or somewhere to do it yet. But it's on the list of things to do. But I think that's so. The Outdoor Boys YouTube channel is extremely successful because I think when people watch it, they just feel good.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
just it's
Yeah.
relaxing. and-
So one of you will send this to me, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And-
should mention also under Learn More, we have Ryan's contact information. So if people want to know more about Australia or more about some Australian coming to America, they can get in touch with Ryan.
Okay.
Okay with that, Ryan?
Sure.
Well, okay.
I don't normally answer unknown phone numbers, so
Yeah, this would
text
be-
me first if you want to talk.
Yeah.
I suppose.
This would be
Yeah.
email.
Email? Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
And-
I don't know how to text.
Okay.
Well, Jim's phone, which is antediluvian to say the best.
Hey, it's a flip phone. It's not an antediluvian. Come on. Flip phone.
Yes.
Very unplugged.
It's closest thing to being unplugged that you can get and still be able to phone people. So, one of the things then that I think, at least, is important about thinking about nature is, you've used the term, Ryan, a couple of times, bucket list, or it's on the list of things to do. And I think one of the things about it, getting addicted to the kind of things that pop up on most people's feed is it takes you away from saying, here's my bucket list, or here's things that I want to do,
Yeah.
with the emphasis on do.
Well,
Yeah.
I did something this year that I've always really wanted to do in Australia, which is restore a classic American car.
Oh, yeah?
So over the summer, I picked up a beta 1968 Ford Mustang from Facebook Marketplace, and I just chipped away at it slowly, and I got to drive. I got it to a good enough spot where it was painted. It was painted not great, but it looked good from 20 foot, right? And I drove it around, and that felt just so good to have that done, and well, done enough to drive and look cool and stuff. And it's just that was, and having that finished is a great and a very powerful motivator to start looking at these other things that I really want to do.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
if-
that's a good
yeah.
point. If
If
you
I
don't
can
have
do
a goal,
this-
you'll get somewhere, but
Yeah.
you may not get to your goal.
Yeah, and it's if the like a lot of people were saying like, oh, I don't know how to do that and stuff. Like, how did you learn how to do that sort of stuff? And I was like, well, I didn't really have a great basis for welding, but I had to do quite a bit of welding on this car, and I was like, well, I just did it. You know what I mean? Looked up the YouTube tutorials, got
Yep.
into it.
Hey,
That's the
YouTube
best
is,
way to learn how to strip down and rebuild an engine is just watch YouTube
Yep.
and do it.
and do it.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
good
And
point.
I don't know how to build a log cabin, but I've watched enough YouTube videos. I think I could probably do it. And the only way to find that out is to go do it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Let's get back to travel and wildlife. We were talking about Australia, and I've mentioned koala bears several times.
Oh, yeah.
Now, apparently, a lot of them got wiped out in the big fires that you guys had.
Yeah. They're actually, a lot of them died in a drought too. Because koalas will get their nutrients and everything that they need just from eucalyptus leaves.
Okay.
And some of
No.
them were getting so dehydrated because the trees weren't getting enough water that the
Okay.
eucalyptus leaves didn't have enough water. So they would go drink, which is very an odd behavior of koalas.
Okay.
But they're I don't know if they're classified as endangered, but their numbers certainly did dwindle. But this is a fun fact about koalas: they're so stupid that
They're
you
cute.
could give them a bowl of eucalyptus leaves fresh off the tree, and they won't touch it. They will only recognize it as food if it's on a branch. Yeah,
Well,
So if you gave them a branch
Yeah, they'll-
of fresh leaves, would they eat them?
they'll eat that just fine. But if you give them just the leaves, they're like, that's not food. Yeah, they've got smooth
Well-
brains.
And the other classic thing from Australia that is a historic event when the farmers decided that, oh, we need to introduce rabbits.
Oh, yeah. They
And-
built a fence all the way across the border between New South Wales and Queensland to keep them out.
Oh.
Rabbit-proof fence.
you got a few rabbits down there, do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I during the lockdowns, I was living on my friend's farm and working out there. He's got a cattle farm, and he needed somebody to look after the place because the dude that he was getting to do it was not doing a very good job. And I was like, I'll do it, and then I can escape the lockdowns, right? Mm-hmm. And
This
spend
was
lots
the
of time.
COVID thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I got to spend lots of time outdoors
Yeah.
and not having to wear a mask because there was nobody else there. But during my time there, I shot out an entire rabbit warren worth of rabbits that had moved into the garden around the house.
Unwelcome
And-
guests.
Yeah,
right?
I probably shot 200 of them.
No kidding.
And like not even a month after I went back to the city, a different group of rabbits had moved in.
Huh.
And then when I went back out, there was rabbits everywhere again. They just
Kind of
out
like
control.
Watership Down, right?
So
Okay.
in Australia, they have an engineered virus to manage the population of rabbits called myxomatosis, and they have to, I think it's every few years, I don't know however many years, but they have to update it essentially
Uh-huh.
because it doesn't kill enough of them, and then the ones it doesn't kill are resistant to that strain, and yeah, it manages the population a bit, but
Sort
it's,
of. Yeah.
it's not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Well, Ralph and I have talked about we human beings and our ability to mess things up pretty well in nature. So we won't go there today.
No.
Yeah.
But the other interesting thing is the people who had the pythons that got accidentally introduced into Florida, and now Florida is saying, well, we're going to import honey badgers, which are a natural enemy to pythons.
Yeah.
That's a bad idea.
And then what happens after they eat all the pythons? What are they going after next? And you know, you
Probably
say
your
that to
dog,
pe-
right?
Yeah, that you say that to people, and they say, "I don't know."
Australia's got a very similar story with the cane toad. So they were raising sugarcane in Queensland, like farming it, I should say. And then there was I don't know how the insect was introduced, but there was an insect in the crops destroying the crops, and it was like, oh well, these toads eat these insects. Let's bring a stack of them in.
Let's bring some toads in. Okay.
And then the toads figured out it was easier to crunch up the sugarcane and knock all the sugarcane down to get to the beetle or the locust or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And so now they've got this problem of cane toads that are just reproducing like crazy, eating all their sugarcane and not doing what they intended. Now they're just everywhere. If you go to Queensland and you stay over at somebody's house, first time I went to Queensland, I just was like, they can't be that bad. I was staying in the middle of Brisbane. Sure enough, as soon as the sun came down, they just started hopping out of the bushes. And I was like, I looked under those bushes trying to see if there was any under there, and they just appeared.
Here they come. Yeah.
And then we just ran around with, golf clubs and cricket bats and stuff.
It could be a new sport.
Controlling the population.
Yeah. And part of the frustration with things like cane toads is you really can't handle them
No.
because they have a secretion on their skin that is not good for human beings. Let's put it that way.
I would think you
they're
can't
just
handle a
gross and-
honey badger either.
Yeah, honey badger probably get a bit upset about
Yeah.
that.
Lose your arm with
Yeah.
that one, I suppose. So, if you want to get a good glimpse of Australia, you mentioned crocodile hunters, right?
Yeah,
As
there's Crocodile Hunter. There's just
Okay.
one.
and if
It's,
you want to
his
get a
name's
good
Steve Irwin.
glimpse of sort of natural beauty in the wilderness of Alaska, we've got another thing down there for you to look
Mm-hmm.
at. Any other thoughts about how to survive a winter?
Well, I've got another a good documentary to watch. David Attenborough did a documentary of the dingoes in Namadgi, which is where I lived in Canberra. So Canberra is the city of the Capital Territory in Australia. Most of it is comprised of the Namadgi National Forest, and there's dingoes there. And David Attenborough did a whole documentary on that.
On fingers?
So, dingoes, they're wild Australian
Dingoes,
dogs.
wild dogs, yeah.
So if
Okay.
you wanted to see where like I'm from, there's that.
Okay.
Which is perfect, yeah.
David Attenborough on dingoes.
Mm-hmm.
And, the other thing Jim just asked about winter, my advice to anybody who's trying to cope with a winter where it is really a winter is pick up either snowshoes or skis and get out there.
Yeah.
You get moving in the wintertime, and guess what? You don't notice the cold. I mean, I've cross-country skied when it's 15 below and found that when I went out dressing for the cold, I put on too many clothes.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely manage the layers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was able to take off layers, but, I ended up skiing pretty quickly and basically just in a long sleeve T-shirt and ski pants. And I was fine. When I stopped, it was not so good.
Yeah, so there is a lot that you can see and do here in Michigan in the wintertime. Birds are out there, maybe not as many as in Australia, but the chickadees are there. The cardinals are there. You can watch them. You can
Yeah.
feed them at your back bird feeder if you want. You can see tracks and see if you can figure out where the tracks go. You'll see rabbit tracks. And wherever you see rabbit tracks, you'll probably see something that looks a little bit like a dog track, which is probably a coyote.
Yeah.
There's a little. Now, if you're a little further north, you might be able to see some elk in the wintertime. They kind of school around in Vanderbilt area.
And if you're in the UP, the big track that you see that looks like a giant dog, that's a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And, the other thing, we kind of dissed electronics, but when I took outdoor photography, these many ice ages ago, we had flat film cameras. Today, everybody has on their hip probably a better camera than I had in those days.
Especially these days when they're coming out with like 4 lenses on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
So you pull out your camera and you say, okay, now I really haven't used this, but I'm going to take some pictures outdoors. You know what? The learning curve is not that steep. The app on your phone will help you. And a bad shot of a running rabbit is better than a good shot of your next door neighbor driving away.
Yeah.
You know, it says that you had to be there.
Some of them do that like kind of moving picture. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
So even if you get like a blurry photo of a rabbit and you've got that motion photo on, you'll probably be able to see it a bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can, get your camera to adjust the photo to the best possible resolution. And just going out and saying, I'm going to go and find some wildflowers or some evergreens, evergreens that have snow on them. I mean, all those kinds of things could give you an award-winning photo.
Yeah.
Because you're there. And that's a wonderful thing for people to say, oh yeah, I can learn how to do this.
Yeah, and if they're unsure, then I'm sure they could look it up on YouTube. It's like just outdoor wildlife photography tutorial, and it's probably a 15-minute video, and it will go over all the basics, and then they can get their phone and go take some cool pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. Easy for me to say, right? Ryan, with these last 2 sessions with you, it's been a pleasure, and we've hopefully encouraged people to get out into nature, watch nature, and maybe even interact via photography, right?
Right.
Okay.
And light a fire, at least in your mind.
Well, until next time, Ralph, and pretty soon we're going to be talking about how to prepare for final exams, right?
We are.
Okay.
When's the time to start preparing for final exams?
Oh, about 3 months ago.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the worst time is the day before the exam. So the compromise time is right now.
Yep, let's do it. Okay. And remember, keep your stick on the ice
Because we're all in this
together.